What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Do you guys remember when Dwayne Wade led the Heat in the finals to a championship in the 2006 NBA playoffs, 2006 NBA finals? And the narrative after winning that championship was that Dwayne Wade was the face of the NBA. Does anybody remember that, or am I going crazy? And you had some folks also saying that Wade was the best player in the league off the lone championship win. Granted, his performance was all-time magnificent. Great stuff. What was your take on all that? You remember any of that? Anybody? I do. It happened. It had LeBron James fans angry, pissed off. I remember I had a lot of friends that were LeBron fans, but they really had no rebuttal. LeBron had accomplished nothing at the point outside of Rookie of the Year and crushing those youngest players' stats and awards, if you want to call them awards. The only rebuttal they really had at the time was he had a better team, he had Shaq, but make no mistake about it, LeBron is the better basketball player. That's basically what they were saying, which very well may have been true. But one thing I can say is that I relish the fact that I could chuckle and feed into it. Me personally, I could say that Dwayne Wade definitely had a stronger, better, tougher mentality than LeBron James at the time. He showed me he knew what it takes to win. He was more committed to the defensive end of the floor as well. And for those of you that have been around here for a little bit, you know I'm a Kobe guy through and through. And you're probably watching this video thinking, oh, Boo think he a sly fox. He think he a smooth operator. Asking me, why LeBron? Why not Kobe? Kobe was in the league too. And Kobe and Wade play the same position. So why don't you speak on Kobe during that time? Why are you bringing up LeBron? And I'm absolutely here for it. I shy away from nothing because I spit the truth about every player. Doesn't matter who they are. All right? So let's talk about it. Kobe Bryant was coming off arguably the best offensive season in NBA history from a scoring perspective more than anything when you consider pace of play, NBA scoring, and defense, the era. Kobe was also coming off a playoff defeat at the hands of the Phoenix Suns after being up 3-1 in that series. But Kobe Bryant still had his 3 championship rings I could always fall back on in arguments if I needed to. Also, at the time, Kobe Bryant was only 3 years removed from his sexual assault allegations in the summer of 2003. So I had no argument for Kobe Bryant being the face of the NBA over Dwayne Wade. I didn't even try to argue for him. Kobe was in the beginning stages of his journey of reshaping his image in the public eye and overcoming the scum and dirt attached to him from the allegations, the snitching on Shaq, a horrible final series in Detroit, and running Shaq out of Los Angeles. Those are just the facts. Kobe Bryant was not the face of the league, and he could not even be considered the face of the NBA with his collective recent history. Now, with time, Kobe Bryant changed those narratives, or was able to overshadow them rather, his history, by ultimately torching the league and winning more championships over the next couple years to close out the decade. And people began to look at Kobe Bryant positively again. I knew Kobe had been, for the most part, fully embraced again once the Denver Nuggets fans started cheering for him in Colorado, in the Mile High City. Those were the most anti-Kobe people, and for obvious reasons. Now, as far as Wade being the best player in the league, of course I would challenge that all day. Wade has consistently said himself Kobe was the best player in the NBA until LeBron James joined the Miami Heat. Now, living in Florida, during that time, surrounded by all the Wade County boys, even some of my family. You can imagine the Wade versus Kobe debates I was getting into. Dwayne Wade was my dad's favorite player after Michael Jordan retired. Of course, they were going to push at me that Wade got Finals MVP with Shaq, and that's something that Kobe Bryant never did. And I would say, yeah, true. Well, Kobe never had to deal with a neutralized Shaq in the finals. The Mavs were able to expose Shaq, and that's when Wade took it upon himself to take it up to another level because Shaq wasn't getting it done and it wasn't going to happen. Shaq was still great, or really good. Granted, Shaq did carry them all the way to the finals. So if they had that conference finals MVP award back then Shaq would have won that trophy. But that's really when we began to start to see the decline of Shaq in his career, to be honest. It was all downhill from there. I mean, the very next season, the Miami Heat got swept by the Chicago Bulls in the first round of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure that happened because I was in Miami at the time. Now, I wonder if those Miami Heat guys kept that same energy after they got swept the following year. Now, I mean, LeBron would go on to the finals that year that the Heat got swept, ultimately in a losing effort, but yeah, he made it to the finals. The NBA and the fans were desperate for a face of the NBA, a very specific face. They wanted to see the next Jordan. Who was going to carry that on forward? It was supposed to be Kobe, but Kobe could not be that person due to his poor decisions. LeBron was young and still losing. Duncan was too boring and was the complete opposite personality the media wanted. Iverson was too divisive and didn't have the clean public image in the eyes of the media. Carmelo Anthony just wasn't that guy. T-Mac couldn't get over the hump. Carter was inconsistent and hurt. KG was still losing in Minnesota. Shaq was divisive, too sensitive, and getting older. And they ran to Wade after winning, only to find out that it wasn't going to be sustainable from a winning perspective moving forward. Granted, Wade would eventually end up with 6 rings as a 1B to LeBron's 1A and having a 2 in Chris Bosh to form a big 3. But that was 6 years later. Anyway, just something I wanted to talk about, something that was on my mind. I appreciate y'all, man. Let me know what you think about it. Chime in on your opinion. I would love to hear about it. Take care, be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.